I'm very excited about this. I enjoy these kind of things. I enjoy what I've been doing here. If you haven't quite figured it out, even just had a question on it, I am taking a moment to teach the success principles. Now, the way we used to do this is I would basically take all of them and shove them into an hour, and that's just a waste. So what I've been doing is taking a single class and making it over a single principle. So, no, you're good. Just hang out. You might learn something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Back in the first of last year, first of 2022, I taught a class called An Awesome Purpose. And that's where this started. And then when we were in Minneapolis last month, if you haven't checked out the Minneapolis audios, I covered principle number 2, which was plan. So I'm just going to keep doing this. Every city, every time you hear me at a city, I'm just going to keep going with the principles. And I'm going to go through it. So I covered work with purpose. I covered embrace the plan. So today, I'm here to love the dream. I'm here to talk about love. Because where is it? Do any of you watch Love is Blind? Anybody? Anybody see the craziness, the bananas stuff going on? This show, man. This show. Anybody else go for the live reunion and really get angry? It's a very frustrating weekend, last weekend. If you do not know what Love is Blind is a show on Netflix where a bunch of people come together in a dorm room, basically, and they get assigned these little rooms they call pods, and they go in these pods to potentially meet their future husband or wife, and all they get to do is talk to them. They don't get to see them. So they're just sitting with a wall between, I'm guessing there's a microphone or something, and they talk, and they're allowed to talk and go on as many of these talking blind dates as possible that are truly blind because you can't see the person. And the point of the show is that the only way you get to see that person is if you propose to them first. So you sit in this pod, you fall in love, and you end up proposing to get to see this person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And I think this show is fascinating. I watch it. I've seen every season. Not going to lie. It's very entertaining. But here's the thing that it gets me about, and this is why I think it's important here. See, when I watch this show, I feel like anybody can do this. If you watch the show, you can tell who is there who really wants to find love and who just thought, hey, I'm free this weekend. There's a certain crew that are like, I just haven't met the right person. I've been all over the place. Online dating sucks. And they're frustrated with the process, and they're just ready to go. They're ready for love. They want love. They need love. And then there's another crew that's like, this is dumb, but I could be famous. I'm going to be on Netflix. Who doesn't want that? And so what I notice about it is that when I watch the show, I feel like almost within seconds, I know who the good ones and who the bad ones are. I can tell from just the way they talk, the way they interview, the way that they explain what the reason they're there. I can tell who's in this and who's not. Now, I can already see some of you looking at me like, what does this have to do with chiropractic? I can tell you, because I've been doing this 18 years. And in 18 years, I've met a lot of offices and a lot of doctors and a lot of staff. And I can tell you this, when I see you, meet you at these conferences, I can tell which one of you love it and which one of you don't. I can look at you, I can see who's really in this, I can see who's in it, because you got to realize, chiropractic is a profession that should be built on love. Because you should be loving to serve people. We are here to heal. We are here to save. We're here to do things. See, I can tell when you don't love it. I can even tell, usually the easiest ones to tell right off the bat are the ones that walk in with the, I don't do mornings look. As if they ever get to sleep in, like that's ever a thing once you have children. Or the people that walk in, I don't want to be here. I had to give up my Saturday. I can tell if you love it or you don't. So what I want to do this morning is I want to give a reset. I want to allow each and every one of you to save your jobs. And I want to give you the opportunity to reset and realize how important it is to love this thing. Because in the true reality of this is, if you don't, you should go somewhere else. Now that's not me being mean. That's not me saying like, oh, you shouldn't just be thankful for your job. It's if you aren't going to love it, it's not going to work. You can be married, but if you're not married with love, it's not going to work. If you're going to pick a career, if you don't love it, it's not going to work. Everything that we have and everything that we do requires love if it's going to last. Otherwise, what we end up doing is just faking it. We act like it. And if there's one thing that we knew, this is, as just kind of a personal testimony of this, I'm married now, but I got divorced back in the day. And when I got divorced back in the day, the majority of the people in this company at the time knew who my wife was then. And I thought I was hiding it. I thought everybody thought we had a good marriage. And I thought everybody thought that we were in love. And when the word got out that I was getting divorced, it was shocking how many came up and be like, knew it. Saw it coming. I was like, what do you mean? I hid it so... No, I didn't. Because when you're not in it, when you don't love it, you don't treat it the same way. You don't act the same way. You don't do the same thing. So while if we look at our principles, there is a reason for the order. Purpose is required. Without the purpose, we don't really go anywhere. The whole meaning of this has to be stated, has to be understood, has to be taken. Then we got to have a plan for it. We got to have a plan for what we're doing, where we're going, because it's not just enough to know why, you got to know how. But the part that a lot of us try to leave out is the love part. And the reason the love is so important is because the love is the fuel. If you run out of fuel, whatever you're doing becomes unsustainable. It can't work, it won't fly, it won't go anywhere. Which is why I thought this would be a perfect point, because we are at a NASCAR-themed event, that I'd show some NASCAR. So we're going to watch just a clip here from the Coca-Cola 600, and this is Casey Kane at the 2011 Coca-Cola 600, and this is him in the lead coming off of a yellow flag.
Don't get to the white flag, we'll try it again.
Number of things you got to watch out for here. Now you've been riding on the apron. You picked up you got hot tires, pick up a lot of debris on the tires. Plus, if one of these guys up front here runs out of fuel, look out, field.
Here we go. Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Harvick, Burton, Busch, Edwards, Stewart, Reagan. Green flag. 2 to go.
Boy, Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a great restart.
He's out of gas, and there they go.
And Burton goes around. A lot of smoke.
They had a little bit of a wreck back there. No caution.
Keselowski got bounced around, but we are still green. Let's see.
Cars all over the place down here in turns 1 and 2. Not real sure how this is going to work out.
Still no caution, though. We'll be coming to the white flag, Mike.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front.
Can he make it?
White flag. Next flag ends the race. Hamlin trying to close.
Track's clear. We're good to go.
7 back. 7 back.
Harvick third. Reagan fourth. Logano fifth. What a topsy-turvy finish to the Coca-Cola 600.
And Dale Jr. is scooting away. Uh-oh, he's slowing, isn't he?
150,000 people on their feet.
Jr. is slowing. He's out of fuel. He's out of gas.
And as that Indy, the leader at turn 4, does not get to the flag, Harvick, the closer, wins it.
Once again, where did he come from?
Now, here's what I love about that. Because to me, this we see this in business so much. Casey Kane's out front. Yeah, I'm doing real good. And he runs out of gas. And not only does he run out of gas, he pretty much wrecks everybody behind him, takes others out with him. But here's the part that is my favorite, is Dale Jr. Because Dale Jr. then zooms into the lead. And he has that mindset that many of you doctors have. Well, my situation's different. He ran out of gas, but I don't need gas. I can make it. You don't know their office wasn't prepared. Our office knows the tasks. Our office knows what we're doing. And what happens? Comes around the final bend, and he can't do it either. He's out. He's done. So what it truly means here is, if we neglect the fuel, we are going to lose. There's no way around it. Has anyone here ever run out of gas before? You know, yeah. Oh, I know, I've done it. I have done it. I'll be honest with you, I did it not because I thought I could get away with it. I was so lost in the music. I was singing. I was rocking out. All of a sudden the car just shut off in the middle of the interstate. If you don't have the fuel, it's not going to work. See, a lot of us think we can just run off tasks alone. We think that as long as I know how to do the task, as long as I know what the system is, I know how to do it, as long as I know my process and I know what I'm supposed to be here for, we think that'll just make it, but that's not true. That can only get you so far. You can only run so far on an empty stomach. You can only run so far on an empty tank. You can only run so far with no fuel. But what we have plans, what we have made goals for, what we have ready for us requires fuel. And every time we bring on somebody and somebody doesn't love it, what we're basically doing is popping a hole in the tank. Because every time we get around someone who doesn't love it, as weirdly as this sounds, it turns out that they force other people not to love it. See, when you let someone in who doesn't love, they end up impacting others. They end up depleting the love tank even more. So what happens is we start doing the wrong thing because we start thinking, well, it's okay, I know it's going bad, but we got a lot of things going on. We don't have the time. We can't fire this person right now because something's happening. But no, you're running out of fuel. We got to get back to the fuel. A lot of us have even done it because we think it's numbers, because we use things like, even what we have, there's a thing called plugging the leaks. We like to plug the leaks of numbers, but a lot of times what we don't work to replenish is the love. Because it's easy to get lost on the love. It's easy to forget about it. It's easy to just come in and just do your job. It's easy to just see this as another person. It's easy just to see this as another situation, another adjustment, another wellness. And we start forgetting how much we love this and forgetting how much impact we are doing. But you can't win without the love. If you don't love what you're doing, you'll find a way to give up. That's the way it is. I've noticed everything. Anybody that's ever done anything out of love, when they lost the love, they got out. They moved to something else. And as much as we try to convince ourselves that, I can work here without love, no, you can't. You'll fall apart. So where does this all start? For one, it starts with loving chiropractic. If you don't love chiropractic seriously, there is the door. It's time to go. It's kind of like, have you ever been to a restaurant and you order and the person that you're ordering from doesn't like the food where they work? And you go, we did this the other night. My wife, we were at Olive Garden. We were at Olive Garden. My wife said, we hadn't been there a very long time. I was like, what's your favorite thing? She's like, I don't eat Italian. What? I feel like all my children eat is Italian. It's either pasta of some sort. It's got cheese or it's got marinara. This is what we do. We sometimes put ourselves in these weird spots. See, if you don't love chiropractic, it's time to go to dental. It's time to go to medical. It's time to go bother the other crew. But this isn't going to be it. Because you need to love this. One of the easiest ways to tell is, if someone asks you about a pain or a problem, is your thought, man, they need our office? Or is your thought, I should think about all the options in healthcare? Because if you truly believe that everybody should start with this, that's where the love is built. See, I know that like when it comes to our company, if I hear about a student, if I hear about a doctor, if I hear about somebody who's in trouble, my first thought is we can save them. That's why I'm here. That's my job. My first thought is, well, they should probably go take a course. No, I want them. I believe we can save them. I believe we can do it. But to do that, we have to stay loyal to each other. See, I've noticed, like I said before, it's usually what happens is we have one person who falls out of love who then tries to convince everybody else to fall out of love. It's never just like one collective thing. It's never just one thing. It's one person, because nobody in an office building with multiple employees wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be the only person thinking the only thing. So it's just easier to impact others. And the sad part is that when you don't love it and you start hurting other people, once you get everybody, you're still not happy. And we just infiltrate the whole office, and then everybody's miserable. And we're all still trying to, well, what was the solution? Well, it's just to not love. No, it's to only love. It's to only be here if you love. See, I need you to see chiropractic as the greatest, most awesome, most amazing solution there ever was. I need you to see it as the first choice, not the last. I need you to see it as the main thing. I need you to see it as something that I have to have, they have to have, my family has to have, everyone I know has to have. And if I start thinking differently, I'm losing the love for this. I got to have the love. See, I learned this. I can give you a prime example of this. I used to have a Cadillac. I actually traded it in last week. I had a Cadillac Escalade. It hit 100,000 miles and just pretty much decided it was done. It didn't want to do anything else. I'd put a lot of money into it. And so I'd taken it to the service place, and I got one of those courtesy driver guys, the guy who was going to drive me home after the deal because they needed to keep the car overnight. And so we're on the way home, and he's like, "What you doing here?" I'm like, "Well, it's like my Cadillac's out. I'm getting it serviced." He said, "Oh, what kind of car do you have?" I said, "An Escalade. I have an Escalade, and it's not doing great. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to get another one here pretty quick." And I'm telling you this. The guy looks at me and he says, "Oh, you don't want to do that?" I said, "What do you mean I don't want to do that?" He said, "Oh, you don't want an Escalade?" In fact, I wouldn't even buy a Cadillac. He's wearing the Cadillac shirt. He's driving the Cadillac car. I said, "Well, what would you drive?" He said, "Oh, I'd go about anywhere else." He's like, "You should look at, a Navigator or something." I wouldn't do this. And here's the thing. Here's why I tell you this. Because as awkward of a conversation as it was, when my car died, basically, when the transmission said, "No, I need a new one," and I was like, "Nope," I couldn't get that conversation out of my head. I couldn't stop. I remember the sales guy calls me and says, "Sir, we will give you $17,000 for your trade." And I was like, I can't do it. And he's like, "Well, what's the problem?" I said, "Well, honestly, one of your employees told me not to." He's like, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, my driver," I was like, "the guy who drove me home." I was like, "I don't know his name, I don't know anything about him, but he told me to go get a Navigator." And he's like, "Did he now?" It's like, "Yeah, so I'm not going to buy an Escalade." And I did not. I bought a Yukon, so I stayed probably in the family. But it was one of those things. That's a guy who doesn't love it. See, here's what I think that guy should do. I think he should go work for Navigator. He should go work for the service department over at Lincoln. Because he apparently loves those. I did. I didn't have to tell him. I really weighed on me of whether I should say it or not. Because part of me wants to say I don't want to get anybody in trouble. The other side is you shouldn't employ this person. But how many times does this happen? In our own lives, in our own staff. How many times do we have people who recommend elsewhere, who send elsewhere? See, I think that love is highly misrepresented. I think we all get so caught up in the romanticism of it that when we talk about love at work, we think that's awkward. We think it's weird to talk about loving something or loving being here or even loving each other. I can tell you this, I love my coworkers. I do a lot for my coworkers. Not everything, not anything. But if my coworkers say they need something, I'm going to do it. And it's not because it's a favor. It's not because I'm thinking I'm going to get something in return. It's not because I'm thinking I'm going to turn this in with receipts later. I'm thinking it's because I love you. And I know they do the same for me. I remember when Dad went out, when Dad couldn't do spectacular, and the health problem started. I needed help. That spectacular, I couldn't just, this was new, this was different. And it's easy to tell who doesn't love it because they don't want to help. They don't want to be part of it. But see, I think this is so vital. I think this is so important. I think love is something that is so necessary that I'm even excited this. I didn't even realize it just kind of worked out this way. But next month, we're bringing in what I'm pretty much calling the love expert. We're bringing in a guy named Joel Manby. Joel Manby has a book called Love Works. All of those companies you see on the screen are companies that he was the CEO and president of. So when we're talking, I'm not talking like just like a franchise or something. I mean, this guy was the president and CEO of Dollywood, Silver Dollar City, Kentucky Kingdom, Wild Adventures, Whitewater, Showboat, The Show. You've got Dixie Stampede, Discovery Cove, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Adventure Island. Most of those he was the CEO for over 20 years. And his entire concept is without love, none of that works. And he's got this amazing book. I'm halfway through it. It's incredible. Highly recommend it. Called Love Works. So he's going to be at our next event in May 20th in Chicago. If you can come, I wouldn't miss it. It's going to be awesome. We're also doing we did NASCAR this weekend. We're doing a theme park theme. So tacky tourist time. So that's going to be fun. I got that way easier than this. This was a little harder. But I got that to a T. That's my closet practically. I live in Florida. We just live that way. But here's what I want to go over today. I want to go over what are the ingredients for our love fuel. What are the ingredients that we need to make sure we're staying on top, make sure we're loving it, make sure we're doing this right? And luckily, we don't have to guess at it. Luckily for me, I don't even have to figure it out because the Bible just defined it. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Because if you've been to a wedding in the last 50 years, you've heard this. You probably ignored some of it. You probably just sat there and stared and took a look at everything and judged everyone. But during that moment, during that 20-minute session, you heard this. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. And it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Which, just making it easy, fuel never fails either. You have to have the fuel. That's why it's the love. So I'm going to go through these. Love is patient and kind. Chiropractic is a space where you have to love people. Let me just say this for some of you. There should be a zero sarcasm policy. I have zero tolerance for sarcasm. I get it, some of you think you're funny. You're not. You're just making things awkward. Because here's the simple reason. When you love something, if you're being sarcastic, it feels like you don't love. I get it, there's a time and a place for it. It's probably Twitter. At the same time, when we're at work, sarcasm doesn't work. Sarcasm says, you're in the right place at the right time. Instead of, you're in the right place at the right time. There's a difference. There's a difference to all of it. I don't want to see, you must be patient. Because this is hard. I realize this is hard. I realize in any job being patient is difficult. Well, my first job out of college, I worked at Disney World. Being patient is difficult. It's difficult. But you got to be patient and kind to your doctor staff, even the annoying doctors. Even the ones that don't pay you. You got to be patient and kind to them. You must be patient and kind to your coworkers, even the weird ones. Get a show of hands, not counting today, how many of you have ever worked with a weirdo before? Oh yeah, if you're not raising your hand, it's you. It's you. You are the weirdo. You must be patient and kind with your patients, even the crazies. Who's got a crazy patient? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen some. Sadly, they get on airplanes too. I get to deal with them often. Doctors, you got to be patient with your team. You got to be kind to your team. See, this is such a simple one and such a basic one. That's why I love that we start here. Because it's one of the easiest ones to blow right out the gate. It's one of the easiest ones to forget. Sometimes we think that because we're in business, we got to be in business mode. We somehow got the impression that being businesslike meant being rude. That if I act like a jerk, that means I'm businessy. But you got to be kind. I told a doctor not long ago, he said he was having trouble keeping staff. And I said, do they like you? I said, just honestly, do you think your staff like you? And his response was, I've never thought about it. Maybe you should. Maybe that's where we start, because it's patient and it's kind. We got to be patient. We got to be kind. Let me give you this one simple rule before I go any further, because this applies to all of this, and the only way all this makes sense. This is the main rule for love. Love must be given to be received. I want everybody to say that. Love must be given to receive. Now, we're going to read it again because a lot of you didn't want to because you don't agree with that, but let's do it one more time. Love must be given to be received. Now, why do I point that out? Because so many of us expect to receive it first. We want to receive it before we are willing to give it. And so what that ends up doing is, rather than us ever getting anywhere, nobody ends up loving anybody because everybody's just waiting around to receive it. This is one of the main reasons most relationships have a hard time. Because when someone makes you mad, you want them to show the love first. And you want to hold that resentment until you get the love. And how many times does that work in office? Your boss gets on to you, your boss gets mad at you, you get in trouble for something, and you're just like, I'll be nice to them when they're nice to me. That's not how that works. You must love them. You must continue loving them, even when you don't want to, even when it's hard. Because I promise you, this is going to come up. That's why I bring up the people first with the love and kind, because there are going to be patients that are going to do stuff to you. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to hurt you. And it's not up to you to wait for them to be loving. You must be loving to them. There's an old statement we used in the old days. Kill them with what? Kindness. But you notice we don't do that. We choose to kill them with awkward silences. Kill them with glares. Kill them with sarcasm. It must be given. You can't wait to receive love before you're willing to give it. That's where we move to love isn't proud or self-seeking. Man, it's really easy to tell the self-seeking team members typically. Because you'll hear this when you say, can we do this? Be like, that's not my job. It's not your job. Let me tell you about not your job. I'm the president of this company. Every flag on your table I put out here last night. Not your job. Want to hear about your job? Are you being paid? That was a question. Are you being paid? It's your job. It's your job. If you're being paid, if someone says jump, you jump. If someone says swim, you swim. If you can't, I don't know, flail, something. You don't know how to do a screening? Fine, learn. Pick it up. It's not self-seeking. Oh, that just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I don't care. I can tell it if you love it or not. Because let me get this through. Your job isn't about you. See, we're not paying you just to help. We're paying you to impact. I'm paying you to be an extension. Not me directly, but if I'm your boss, I am paying you to be a representative of everything that's awesome about chiropractic. I'm paying you to be a representative of everything that's awesome about this office. I'm paying you to make sure that everyone has the best experience possible. And if that means one of us has to do something we're not usually going to do, we don't really want to do, I'm sorry it's going to happen. You got to do it. I can tell you this from a dad's standpoint. If there's one thing I could have skipped in life, it would have been the diaper stage. Anybody ever change a diaper in here? Anybody ever said, I did this, I shouldn't tell. My wife went out for girls' night. And this is my wife to a T. My son, my 18 months old at the time, wasn't doing so hot. He seemed like something was going wrong. I gave him a bottle. We're in the back of the car, going out to get the other kids' dinner, and he vomits everywhere. All over the car, all over himself. And at that point, I had that thought. I could leave him here. I'm sure there's a mom nearby that could pick this up, know what to do. I called my wife, I said, he just threw up. It was like curdled milk all over. And it smelled, man. It smelled. Did I say it smelled? Because, man, it smelled. And my wife's text back was, you got this. I did buy a new car. There you go. But here's the reason I say it. The reason I changed that diaper, the reason I cleaned up that vomit, isn't because it was convenient, isn't because I was being paid to do it. It's because I love that baby. Love makes you do some really unique things. Love makes you find a solution when it doesn't look like one exists. Love means you're willing to go further than others. I know this because we had a babysitter one time, and my daughter at the time pooped really bad. She was like, well, not hiring you again. When you love it, you do stuff for it. See, I can tell staff when you love it. Here's one easy one you can tell. Are you happy to see patients every moment of the day? Liar. Liar. That's why most people are like, I'm not going to answer. When the phone rings 2 minutes before lunch, let's be honest, are you like, yay? Or are you like, oh, I can't reach the phone? When they call 5 minutes, or let's say they walk in 5 minutes before you close. Thank you for coming. Or are you like, there's no one here, I'm the cleaners. It's, you gotta go, I'm sorry, there's a clinic maybe somewhere. See, I think when you love it, I think when you love healing people, it doesn't matter when they walk in. It doesn't matter when they show up. It doesn't matter. What if they show up 30 minutes early? Let them in. Some people are like, we don't open. Let them in. If you love them, you'll treat them. Get them done. Let's do this. Yeah, they'll take advantage of us. No, that's not how love works. We're worried about being taken advantage of. We're worried about loving people. We're loving about going the extra mile. We want to do the right thing. We want to make this work. Love them at all times of the day. But that's when you make the decision to, oh, I can't answer. Oh, we close soon. That's a self-seeking. Got to avoid that. Got to stop that. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Like I said before, when I ask if you know someone who's crazy, the honest truth is we're all crazy. You know, if we're honest, I have moments. I'm sure you have moments. My wife doesn't, never, couldn't, nope. This is being recorded. Everybody's crazy. And what I've noticed over the years is when you work at a place, it's very easy to start using people's crazy against them. It's almost like as staff, we can build up this like list of wrongs. Like we've created a file of all the things that she did. Or all the stuff he did. And we hold it, and no matter how good they do, no matter how fast they go, I'm getting some real good grimaces, and I'm getting some smirks. Because you know that even if they came back and tried to love you, you'd be like, remember July 23rd, 2007? Remember that? I do. It was a summer's day. You keep a record. It's time to wash it. Wash it away. Let it go. Be like Elsa. It's time to drop it, let that thing go, and move on. Realize that all of us have bad moments. And let's be straight, some of us have more than others. But that's never the intention. The majority, the 99% of us don't set out to make everyone miserable. Are there people like that? Yes. But the problem we have without love is we start seeing as more and more people like that. Rather than just that being an exception. That just be a one-time deal, or it could be. We can't keep the wrongs. Delete them. Forget them. That goes for your coworkers. That even goes for your patients. Because here's the thing I found about the patients that we have hard times with. Have you ever noticed that the patients who complain the most, are miserable the most, and are always in a mood, are some of the best patients we got? Have you noticed this? They never miss an appointment. They always come back. They keep coming back. I don't know if they think they're going to win, but I can tell you this, if we don't love them, we're messing up. We're messing up. Delete your record of wrongs. The next time they come in and they're sarcastic at you, yeah, I bet you're going to help me. You look back and you say, oh, I can't wait. I'm ready for you. When do you want to come? Would you like to make another one? How about another one? I'm ready for you to come all year. Let's do this. Let's just advance schedule you out for wellness. What about every week? You want to come every week? Now, that's not sarcastic. That is, bring it on, bucko. My love trumps your nonsense. Delete the record. Love always protects. See, I think we should work to protect each other. When you love, you protect. You protect the patient, you protect the office, you protect the doctor, and you protect the patient. You know who we don't protect? You know what happens when we don't protect? We finger point. Something goes wrong. I don't know what happened. We finger point. We blame. We push out on a, no, I want you to protect. I want you to protect not just yourself. I want you to protect the office. I want you to protect the owning doctor. Because if you don't protect the owning doctor, that stuff spreads. We love each other. If someone said something bad about one of our team, I'd be the first to join them and be like, nope. Nope, not going to happen. Protect. We must protect. Team members without love question things, and when they get a question, they hear the answer, well, I don't know. Someone who loves it, if you get a question you don't know, your answer is, I'm going to find out. Let me get back with you. I'll take care of it. Let me answer it. This is why in all things, if I ever call a business and I get an I don't know, I hang up and I call again. Hoping I can get somebody else. Because it's ironic how at the same company, one person doesn't know, but somebody does. That's on the love. I had that just this week. We live in Florida. We're having a generator installed at our house so that when the next hurricane hits, we don't go 7 days without power again. And so while they've been installing this, it just so happened that at the same time they were installing it, and it's a big old natural gas generator, our water pressure decided to totally go away. So in the house, the water just all came out like, I don't know, like a pitcher of tea, like just this really sad little pour. And so I went outside, and there's a gas guy out there, a natural gas guy, and I said, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, do you know anything about water? He's like, no. He goes, I do gas. I said, well, we had this installed yesterday, and we didn't realize it, but we don't have any water pressure. And he looked at me and goes, you don't have water pressure? He goes, that's not good. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, I guess I got to call somebody. He goes, don't worry about it. I got it. And this man dug holes in the yard. He was covered in water and mud and all this stuff. And he fixed our water pressure. This gas guy. And at the end, he came to my front door, and I looked at him. He's just soaking and dripping and looked awful. And I was like, oh, no. Hopefully he fixed it, because this isn't the scenario I was hoping for here. And he's like, got you all set. If you don't mind, I'm going to go back to my job now. It's like, thank you. See, to me, that's a guy that loves. He cared about me. He didn't just he could have easily, you realize he could have said, and I would have accepted it and understood it if he would have just looked at me and said, that's not my job. I'm the gas guy. But he looked at me and said, no, I want to help you. That's all we're talking about here. It protects. When something goes wrong that could make the company look bad, you jump in. Even if you don't know, even if you aren't understanding, even if you don't get what's going on. When you love it, you protect. Because I don't want our image to look bad. We don't want the profession to look bad. We don't want the doctors to look bad. Love always protects. It also trusts. When you trust, it means you rely on someone and you believe someone to do this. This one is especially for you doctors. If you hire someone to do a job, you must trust them to do the job. There is no love in micromanagement. There is no love in always judging and looking over the shoulder. There's no love in critiquing every step. If you hire them, trust them to do it. And the simple answer is, if you don't trust them to do it, you're going to need to find someone you can. Now, the simple part of this, especially in business, is this kind of goes back to our whole record of wrongs things. One of the main reasons, doctors, that you don't trust your staff is because somebody burned you. Because you had a cruddy employee who did something. And here's the honest truth. No record of wrongs. This person isn't in that person. We can't let everyone who comes in here now be impacted and be treated crappily because of this other person that worked for you 15 years ago. Let it go, man. Let it go. Love always trusts. You can't let the broken trust become the blame for not giving trust. You got to give it. You got to get in there. You've entrusted them with a position and a role and a responsibility. And we're all counting on it. You have to trust. We also have to hope. Sometimes we lose hope in our results and we need to spice things up. I'm telling you, when you have hope, you believe there's an answer. When you don't have hope, you believe there's always going to be, we're going to get burned. It's not going to work. We're not going to make this goal. This isn't going to happen. It's not going to work. When you start believing that stuff, we're done. That's where the hope goes out of the window. But you got to have hope. You got to have hope. I got to be honest. I don't think we're done with pandemics. Anybody else? I kind of feel like the people in charge liked it. I feel like there's probably going to be another one. But here's the thing. If we go into another one and still act like we have no hope, we didn't learn nothing. We must hope. We need to stay hopeful. We need to be hopeful. See, giving up on hope means settling for poor results. We just can't do it. Not going to hit our goals. Another month where we didn't make it. At the end of my class in Minnesota, I teach a whole point on there's still more time. And I truly believe that. I believe there's more time. I believe it's April, 22nd? Is April over? Is there still time left? Yes. We got time. We got hope, man. We got hope. We can do this thing. We need to be positive. We need to stop being negative, and we need to do things right. Hope means we do it the right way. Hope means we fix it. Hope means we're always in for the solution, and we know that there always is one. Because even at the end of the day, there's still tomorrow. There's still another moment. There's still another time. See, I know how self-sabotaging this can be. Because I do a thing every now and again that I don't enjoy called dieting. It's just not my cup of tea. Some of you are very good at it. I like donuts. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a thing. And here's what I know about dieting. I know that there's times where I don't know why I do this, but I'll be on a diet and then I'll cheat. Has anybody else ever cheated before? I'm the only one? Okay, wonderful. I cheat. And when I cheat at lunch, does anyone know what my thought is at dinner? There it is. Thank you. I don't ever think, you know what, that was just that one meal. I think, how many meals can I add today? Ooh, I could use an afternoon meal. I could use a dinner. We got pie, nighttime snack. See, when I give up hope, I go way too far the other way. And that's kind of the problem with anything that's not hope-related. When you lose hope, you go too far dark. So we got to stay with hope. We got to keep hoping. We got to know we're going to get there. We got to know we have a plan and a purpose, and we're going to make this thing happen. Because here's the thing, love always perseveres. But all the staff quit. I don't care. We're going to make it. But we had a doctor walk out. Oh, well. We got this. Love always perseveres. When you love what you're doing, quitting isn't an option. One of my favorite quotes from Moneyball is when Brad Pitt looks at the guy and says, do you believe in this thing or not? And he says, I do. He says, well, then what are we talking about? Why are we complaining? Why are we acting like everything's coming to an end? We got this. It always perseveres. 98% of any job is following a system. And 98% of problems are due to the lack of following the system. We've got to stick with it. We've got to do this. Because at the end of the day, love never fails. Feels, yeah. That didn't make sense. But love never fails. So honestly, even for a lot of you, even for you doctors, you are starting to feel burnt out. You start to feel like you're tired, like you're over it. You don't need philosophy. You don't need a vacation. You need to get the love back. Because if we don't have the fuel, we're not going to win.